XLG yet to take a map. They're saying no Tejo, no win. That's what the people are saying back at home. But I think both of these teams are getting hit by that change pretty similarly.
Yeah. Hard-fought battle over towards A main as well. Conceded up by G2 nice and early. Looking like they want to try and play this one purely for retake. Full evacuation. Raga on his little perch. Dash is going to be fading away, but at least going to be able to try to get this plant down now. Util's going to be sent flying forwards. Wall up on top of it with the paranoia offloaded. It's all sweeping across the side. Not enough to try and push them back, and Midi going to get traded. Toppled. Towards the top there, Jonah P lurking slightly around to the side here, and there's that Sage coming into play. Jorgamo stinking, Havel to defuse. Win concern to G2. A pistol round in their back pockets.
Immediately Valent's hyped up about that one. This is a big change to their composition, but both comps that they've played recently, both with the Gecko and now with the Sage, are focused around that retake style. Look at how much pressure the wall puts down, especially on the pistol. If you manage to save that wall for the retake on pistol, it's so difficult to get through. But keep an eye out for that once weapons come online as well. Once XLG have more ways of being able to deny. G2 played so heavily for retake against Paper X, but Paper X were always there, always with a game plan.
G2, ever methodical, just trying to vacuum up most of the orbs as well, denying XLG any chance of getting some value on their own eco. They bought 3 sheriffs across the board.
Take flight.
Heavy re-exploration through mid. That's just based on the turret going down earlier on. So now that they've pulled bodies into mid, XLG are trying to find this timing to go over towards what should be a bit of a softer site.
Happyway's going to be caught in through mid. As well as that, Nano Swarm's okay.
Midi going down there. Look at Nano really deep over towards yellow.
See the discipline though at G2, they're not willing to give anything up. Even Jonah P, just slight pot shots, peeking off to the side. Everybody taking the right timings for it. A nice lead here for G2, and you can feel how much it means to them, I think, for a team like G2, where expectations are sky high for this squad. Expected almost to be finalists in terms of every event that they end up attending, especially at this point.
But they'd have to go perfect here through the lower bracket to even make another grand final, another opportunity to redeem themselves after a match that I'm sure they'll believe they should have won in Bangkok. It does feel like an angry G2, though, for these first couple of rounds.
Placing swamp grenade.
But now Rifle's back online. More opportunities to crack this retake setup that G2 appear to be playing. And the more that you play retake on the sites, the more that you can focus on defending through mid. So if G2 are going to play pretty soft on the sites themselves, that means that XLG should be denied these mid lurks that they appear to be looking for. As Coconut and Happyway were thinking about putting a bit of pressure mid this round. G2 have stacked 3 players over towards B, currently clearing it out over here. As XLG take that space for an A exec instead. If they go back, though, towards Coconut.
Just spotting the legs. Coconut is falling asleep at the wheel. Osmos is going to be calling for his team. Reinforcements arriving. This is going to be a brawl. Bit of a tussle occurring out towards B main, yet somehow G2 is still ending up the winners of it. Paranoia used that insurance policy for the exit of G2. As that rifle dropped down to the ground, Raga 0 and 3.
A rough beginning and a rough continuation.
Open access over towards the A side though, just trying to go for that plan. A swing into the back, Leaf lucky to be alive. Just about backs himself away here. And XLG looking like they want to fight this one forwards, not defaulting back and away, already making the necessary adjustments against the Sage pick.
Remember, you can't allow Jorgamo to get into position to just put this wall down in front of the diffuse.
Darts flying sky high, face out to the side, it's G2, plenty of bodies, plenty of action, still XLG, they have those rifles, tucked up closer towards the side, it's Whiffy! Beaver dropped! And Midi's next, it leaves it all just down a Happyway. It's Snappy. He's going to need a bit more where that came from as well. Damage has definitely been done as well. Tucked to the side, though, 28 HP. Is it enough to work with? Tap it on and running him down. Time is up. Valorant realizes it. XLG will be gifted that round. An expensive one at that.
At what cost? XLG put a round on the board. A Red Bull clutch in the end from Happyway. The sole player who's been playing up to expectation, I think, for this roster. that has a weight of a region on their shoulders. I guess up until the point the Wolves turned up to this event, started playing incredibly well. Happyway's been excellent though. And he delivers for them once more. But their economy is going to be shattered. 3 Guardians, a must-win round again for XLG.
Jonah P just making sure to deal with a lot of that early util. G2 open up with the slow orb up towards top. Now the drone as well. Mo going exploring. There's a re-swing off to the side. And adjustments necessary. Calm and steady aim in the end.
It's always G2 driving the action here. They fought over towards B in the previous round. Now they're fighting towards A, and it just drives XLG into the opposite site. XLG need to find some way of disrupting the tempo. And the plant denied.
I mean, Analyswarm was dead, they just sent the spike into his death
Coconut.
Not long for the world.
Even if he got past Trent there, I don't think there was a chance that he was also getting past Leaf.
Refighting. A little bit deeper. Flash. Not really recoverable. Slow orb's going to be down. G2 still want to play this one for the retake. And Jorgamo just taking that slight peek up from Kitchen into that angle. Midi's going to be dropped now. Just 2 left to stand against it, but swarms on every possible position. G2 have got their number, and Leaf is the one to be delivering that dagger to the back!
Thanks.
Monster play from Leaf. Perfect at reading the timing. And there is a safety policy. But G2 have been in complete control. Everything that they're doing here is forcing XLG into really predictable reactions. G2's game plan could roughly be summarized as we'll fight on one side of the map, we'll play retake on the other. And you just put the retake side has a little bit of plant denial, whether that's, you know, a Nanoswarm in this round, and suddenly XLG are slow. The reaction's not quite as fast as they would want. They can't take deep space on site.
Yeah.
And they're already taking attack timeout, and I think now is a good time. Hit the panic button early.
There's times normally the setup goes the other way. Everything's being invested to make sure that he is empowered and has a great game.
I want to see you.
But yeah, when I was watching XLG play previously against Sentinels, he was running in first as Neon looking to get traded. That's not the guy that I was watching in China.
That's an eco round for now for XLG. Whatever was called into the timeout, adjustments to be made. Probably going to be taken into account a little bit later on. Jorgamo always willing to take these fights. He steps up to the mark. He's not shy at all. Big game player.
XLG might have been expecting that they got the site for free there. It's good to throw in a twist every now and then.
See it already. Spike's going to be attempted to plant there.
Spike planted.
Wingman will get this one down as well, so into the post plant we go. But XLG, what have they got to really work with? Pistols, high ground position, pushed off and away. Happyway not to be dismayed. Off to the side though, no accounting for it, and already just wall up into their face. And Pistols just have to expend the entirety of the clip just to even stand a bloody chance. It's Heartburns already. It's overwhelming. Purely overwhelming. This is a G2 team. They've come here to play. They want no early exit.
And on an anti-eco like that, the escort the VIP and just get Jorgamo into position, whack down the wall, and it makes those post plants really tough if you're planning to play away from the spike to any degree.
Enemy remaining.
And then if you're forced to play on-site, you're going to get hit by stuff like the Paranoia. Now this round, G2 have Sova ult for plant denial. Killjoy ult for retake. It only gets more difficult. XLG need answers and they need them fast.
One away from a variety of ultimates here. XLG could build towards them. Still have the Thrash as well in their back pockets.
Did they get the retract?
I think that's broken. Sounded like it was broken.
It was definitely aiming to be retracted, but it did make the sound line as if it was broken. There should be a 40-second cooldown there.
Anyway, the turret broken. Reinforcements immediately coming. G2 looking to see if they can shore it up through mid. The question marks. This drone is going to be going straight down. Potentially broken early. Yep,
it's a good bait.
Takes it. It is that bait and switch. Happyway! He just whiffs it.
You can't lose that. He doesn't have the confidence to peek properly. Just sees the ponytail of Jorgamo. And now they're making a predictable reaction again. Fast into the A site, hit by the lockdown.
Yeah, and it's going to be stunted. Pushed back and away as well into the arms of Jonah P.
Spike planted.
Plant is down, but two players have to stand against it. Do manage to block away Jonah P from the picture, but as an ult expended, Viva has let this one loose as the last player left alive, and the options dwindling now for any chance of winning the round, and they know it. G2, they're skipping, they're hopping, they're all over the place, man.
The 1v4 Sova ult. If that isn't desperation, I don't know what is.
Desperation or flustered, I'm not too sure.
But look at this game plan, I love it. You've got Coconut as the bait at the bottom of Tube. Happyway's already walked up to the window. They had a guaranteed kill there on Jorg that could have opened up the round, and they executed it poorly. Just a failure of mechanics, a failure of confidence, showing that it's not just about the ideas, it's also about the attitude you bring into the game. And right now, G2 have come with anger, fury, a determination to win.
XLG, no respite for them. Knocked down to this lowers, and they unfortunately have to contend with a team that everyone was calling before this as one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah, I don't think there's another way of slicing it at this point in the year. It does look like G2, but, you know, if they lose this match, then suddenly all of those narratives get flipped on their head entirely.
Gone. Yeah.
It's a very different crop of teams that we've got here compared to Bangkok.
Waiting for the next round of the Viper Wall fuel to come up, and now XLG slowly creeping past the boundary. Dart into the back as well. Smoke to try and obfuscate as well. Cut off to the side. Jonah B. He's going to be holding this one back, and he's got help from the rest of his team. They collapse onto them. It's no remorse from G2.
Raga once again had to be the hero there, but he only had 3 knives by the time he was actually diving through that wall and trying to take the fight. Not enough. Couldn't be precise with the aim.
Enemy down.
And if you need, I mean, listen, we're watching it live in real time, but if you needed any more ideas about how one-sided this has been so far, just look at the KDs of some of the G2 players.
Yeah.
Leaf's 11-1, Jorgamo's 9-1, Trent's 7-1. 3 of them have only died 1 time.
Massive turnaround for a player like Leaf. Didn't have a great showcase in their last game. Sitting at the top now, and business is booming. Money in the bank is brimming, almost at cap here for G2.
And G2 have actually changed it up slightly. They're playing on with their Killjoy util.
There it is. Hold on, trying to play up onto one side. Don't think he's going to be punished for it.
Jorg is trying to get a Sage Wall so that he can land above their heads, but he's...
Wait a minute.
He's either missing it or he's not taking the timing.
Potentially biding his time as well. Tara, okay, drone broken.
That wall, if he hits it, gets him an angle to kill people who are crossing over to yellow.
XLG are trying to work the map a little bit here and trying to work some picks. Raga just steps up. Very long sight line, unable to get the kill there. A couple of stray bullets onto Leaf, but he just backs himself away on top of it. Now the lockdown is here. Happyway. Hoping to save it for post, I think. If they can get a free plant on, that would be ideal.
It's a good read.
Yeah.
They've taken down the Killjoy utility earlier on. And Trent, he's not going to invest his overall for that. This round has got to be, it's a must win.
It has to be.
It's a can't lose kind of situation.
Investments they've got as well, but Raga's been dropped as well. But potential rifle spam, I think, through the wall. It might have just caught him. Unaware. Smokes are going to be dropped down now with a dart towards the back. But again, the pit obfuscates. It hides a lot. It's a blight onto the side here. Wall needs to be broken in time. Portion of it is Jorgamo! My God! Jumps up and over, tap onto it, and it is just rooting out. The last remaining player at Coconut did not stand a chance. The opponent plays out like that. Confidence is sky high for G2.
What a beautiful play from Jorg. That's absolute brilliance. The Sage Wall over the top, and then he hops up, drops behind players he knows are going to take a timing. That's not just a must-win round for XLG, that's one that you really can't lose. Inside the Viper's pit, still double ults to be able to work with.
I know.
They could have still had people dropping back and at least using Thrash in that situation. But they believed in the ult and couldn't get the timings on the players. 7-1.
It's only going to get much harder. G2 ult to their own as well. Pit down over towards B. Removes one of the avenues that XLGs can work. Now, they've been breaking the turret up through mid quite often, so Leaf has been forced to adjust his setup up.
I mean, it looks at the moment like we're going to get Happyway into position over towards Pipes, which is a good position for a lockdown. The problem is, you have a Sova ult that can just come through and deny this. So these two ults from Happyway and Trent kind of cancel each other out. And they're hoping that's going to make a distraction for this mid push.
Yeah, 3 players up through mid now. XLG looking to pounce. That's an updraft dash all the way around to the side. And Jorgamo caught unaware, still not dead though. And the players are dropping.
Spike down mid.
It's XLG with the cheeky idea. Something to try and turn the tide of the way that this map has been going. But G2, bit of luck in a draw, of course, is being played. But I don't know. XLG have been handed opportunities to get kills. They've just been missing them.
That Sage Wall reaction from Jorg just completely blocks the spike into mid.
30 seconds
but I would have liked to see XLG take a timing after Trent had already invested the ultimate. Wait for the Sova to be stuck inside of his ult.
One last player with a gun out.
And now in a 2v5, this round is impossible.
It's cooked. 15 seconds left. Spike's out of reach. It's a pure save.
It's the most out of reach it could possibly be on an Xbox attack round.
Left.
The spike going through mid. And these two players left in
A.
A.
Hunted.
Flawless.
Not even a gun.
Breath, man. Not even a gun to be saved. Flawless here for G2. It's been the case so far, almost the entirety of this map.
Another example of XLG having a nice idea but failing to execute on it. They did even get the picks, you know, or at least get an opportunity for the picks through mid. But I think their timing was too fast. They didn't wait for that distraction to come through and make it really feel like they were hitting the site from A. Are we keeping it simple for the final 2 rounds? At least on the eco here. Looks like XLG are just going to send it.
Try and send it though. The slow has been going up towards Belt. Almost every other round that Jorgen has been playing it. Slows down the initial approach. They could flash up and over. The weaponry is not ideal. That's going to be broken here.
And when one team has so much confidence, it's just a single player holding B. Because they're never worried.
Not push back really at any point. Ults are ready to be expended. They want to, and the angle just not quite cleared. At least it was, he thought it was.
Yeah, he peeked screens a couple of times with that Marshall.
Yeah.
And Valen peeks with the drone. Raga's got to be thinking about that. He's 3-10 right now. A brutal beginning, but so reminiscent of their first match here.
It's hard to watch in some ways, to be honest, at this point, G2.
Jorg's waiting for a player to res. No one's died in a while.
No, just keep pulling it out for the fun of it here. Paranoia sweeps. Blinded up onto the 2 of them. XLG stepping up. They need a few stray shots, and it's just stray shots straight through the wall. Still Viva will answer back. Instantaneous of the res. Jorgen's been waiting a hot minute for that one. Viva finally dealt with, dropped. He's done the damage. Mini from below. Sheriff in hand has only so much. Just down a happy way. Can he pull off a miracle? It's unlikely. The discipline of G2 just rearing every single time.
Spike diffused.
Sentinels were saying after they played against XLG that they respected them, they were a good team, but they thought that they were slightly easier to play against because they played a standard game. And I think that's one of the things that I really respected watching XLG play domestically. They played to the meta, they played good ideas, but if the execution isn't quite there, and you're playing against squads that they're comfortable in what you should be doing, in what the expected play is. Yeah. G2 are currently just tearing it to pieces. Even the more creative stuff is getting utterly dismantled. And this feels like a last hurrah for XLG as they head over towards B. Can they at least apply a curse? I mean, a 9-3 maybe. But they'd have to play better than currently in order to get to that spot.
They need anything they can get. Valen's going walkabouts with an operator in his hand, man, at this point. Why not?
I don't think Midi has used the Thrash all game. Can we get a Gecko ult out here and apply some pressure onto people, get into deep positions on the sites, set Raga up somewhere where they're not going to be hunting for him?
Through mid. Drone spotting a happy way. He can exit here if he wants to, but I think just feeling the pressure to at least get a ping, anything to turn the tide of the way that this has been going. And here it is. Hunter's Fury, Thrash, suspended up over towards the B side and catching into his sights. Leaf, watchful eye onto his adversary.
And Coconut pushed up to danger completely on his own. Raga actually one of the most passive players in his positioning.
Fully cleared out. It's just up to Raga. Last one left. Got to see those heroics. Makes a decent go of it. But a go of it doesn't earn you a round.
And the coordination there is massively off for XLG. You can talk a little bit about Happy Way and whether or not he should have expected that corner after he got pushed off in mid. But the players on B had a Thrash to try to work forwards, and it was only Coconut who took any space. Coconut pushes up to danger. He gets caught.
Yeah.
Unlucky, you could argue. But where's the rest of the team?
Some of the loudest cheering I've heard, actually. It's 10-1 here, G2. One more round. What's left here in the first half of Icebox?
And you're going up against the Operator on one side, the Outlaw on the other. 3 players on light armor. And a half that looks unrecoverable.
Jiggle Jorgamo. Sole defender over towards A. Many angles of which he can be spotted at, and yes, he is plucked out of the picture.
Pays a little bit there for the hubris of holding such a out in the open kind of angle.
Lockdown's going to be expended nice and early though. This is what Leaf looking to try and push them back and away. Raga overstaying his welcome.
And remember now, Jorgamo dead, that means no Sage Wall to be able to get that easier diffuse off. So a lot of it's around the smokes.
Paranoia is perfect. Raga, that's instinctual. Right click with the knives and he's stepping all the way up and through. Finally though, dismissed and dealt with. Quick little peek though, toppling, and as the mollies are going to be going up and over, this could be the best chance in a long while. XLG, still Leaf, watching for it. Too many bodies though, and a bit of spam does the job. 10-2. It's the scoreline of what we're looking at.
Switching sides.
A difficult half, difficult to watch for XLG, difficult for them to even get their feet underneath them. Absolutely dominant opening for G2, who I think have come into this with a lot of anger after losing 2-0 as the #1 seed from Americas. Simple as possible. Everything's been working. Absolutely everything. So no need to overcomplicate stuff. Now, having said that, I mean, maybe this is just a play for the turret, or maybe they're going to do an A split, which would be unusual.
There's a play for the turret, pre-firing, pre-aiming, I should say, up towards top boiler, but it's a different spot.
Yeah, it's an unusual position, actually, for the turret here. You see it in a position where it covers the window.
Deploying drone.
But a presence shown here by XLG.
And a pretty similar game plan, right? Where they're going to fight over towards B, they're going to try to get information there and play a retake style on A where they have a bit of plant denial. It could be straight out of the G2 playbook.
Wall up and over, a bit of spam to try and break this one early, but not in time. Still stands for now, plant up towards the top. Rapid approach. This is from the flank, and it's all going to be heard and received by Trent. Surely going to be common. He's just holding for any extra element that might be coming out through that one, and he's still tucked, so he is safe in this possible position, and now sees it off to the side. That's just a classic in hand. Raga has been dealt with, taken out. Now it's up to Leaf to try and step up to it and see if he can hold this one back here, and losing control to the flank. The players are dropping like flies here. G2, not sure which way they wanted to look. Barrel sticking out, matters not for Coconut. Just rips the head clean off the shoulders of Trent. A pistol round win for XLG.
I said to keep an eye on Leaf as we head into this half, but I was expecting him to get the value, not to get shut down. That flank came straight into him. He dodged the dizzy, and yet Midi still swings around the corner, ghost in hand, and one-taps him in the head. Really big value there from the substitute player on XLG. That allowed the flank to thoroughly come through into sight. And the rest of the players on G2 got surrounded.
They need a bit more of that. Keeping the energy up, spirits Need to be lifted. Pistol round win.
Yeah, but look at this. Anytime you cut one head off the Hydra,
God.
suddenly the Stingers all pop up. And even Jonah P with a Spectre. That's the wrong gun, buddy. What are you doing with that in your hand?
We see G2 rip the unsuspecting. Tear them apart with the Stingers in hand. Peeks off to the side here with the Outlaw.
The Outlaw's a great purchase.
Yeah, it's shown. Jonah P looking up through mid. There was a chance of the timing there for him. Lee just snaps right up top.
Oh,
Middy's got the peaks of his own. And everybody feeling like they have to be the hero in a moment like this when you're down to this extent. Snap it up to the side. That's 2 shots required. And G2 overwhelm. They swarm the back of the side. Coconut, it's the last one left to do it. And it's too much to overcome G2.
That little play where Jorgamo takes contact on the Outlaw, takes 140 damage, and wastes essentially Raga's shots. And the rest of the players with light armor Stingers come in afterwards. Jorgamo was essentially playing a tank. He's running the Sage tank build. He's designed to just absorb Outlaw shots and let the rest of his team trade him out. A beautiful idea to counter the Outlaw, which itself was supposed to be a counter to the Stinger force buy. And G2, they're back in the ascendancy.
I mean, he didn't buy a weapon last round. It was just a full armor and a classic.
Yeah, he knew what his job was.
Yeah. And just like that, wind out of the sails here for XLG.
Yeah, if they had a hope, it does appear to be dashed against the rocks.
It's a deep dart against the back wall here. Leaf might be getting pressured at a moment's notice. Backs himself away to a safer position.
But XLG, having heard nothing on A, are not really rotating defensive players around to try to catch G2 where they might be. Instead, looking to push out. This could be a clash, because G2, Valiant is calling for them to go back into this site.
Yep. That's a deep drone, though. That was going to be offloaded nice and close, so G2 are aware that they pushed up deep through A main. What's the call now? Re-clear it out or go in a different direction? In through mid. Happy way.
If he just stayed where he was, he would have heard so much information.
Just getting antsy.
I think your comment, everybody feels like they have to be the hero right now. It's so accurate. When you're down like this and none of your standard ideas are working,
30 seconds left.
you feel like you've got to take more and more risk.
Stepping forwards, Raga cheeky with the shot. The flash does connect, but Smoke's going to be obfuscating, blocking. Any chance for XLG to capitalize on the back of it? Still, it is 4 versus 4. Plan is down. Now for G2, watching up through, just spots it, and okay. Scope is optional, at least for Leaf now, and he's going to be making sure that he can stay posted up onto this position. Catching it, and you never expect this one. You never expect it at all. Sprayed down.
No one.
G2 find themselves to 12.
One final opportunity here for XLG to try to stabilize themselves, but there are 9 chances for G2 to close this out, and they've barely needed more than a first opportunity, a first chance in any of these rounds.
No one.
They came into this so hyped up. The adrenaline was at a max for G2. When they won the pistol at the very beginning, they were losing it.
All laughs now, though.
Or was it round 3? Anyway, whenever they won that first round.
Oh, there's just nothing going right for XLG here.
No, happy way, even the movement. He ends up tripping over his shoelaces, gets caught there by Trent. The ults are good, and it's the same trio from XLG trying to make something happen again. They pushed out A in the previous round, now they've gone over to B.
Jonah P. Oh, he's in transit, he's blocked by the barrels. Could have had an exit perhaps, maybe, but Middy's going to be dropping him nevertheless.
I mean, to be fair, it's a very new map, isn't it? Those barrels only just got recently added.
A lot of changes to Icebox recently, so.
4v4.
Right. Rifles in the hands for XLG, and they're stomping, they're marching. They know it's the last lifeline here for them on Icebox. Time to make a go of it once more. Stepping forwards here with a flash, that's a bit of an indicator, close to the corner! What are you doing? Cycling the U-turn. Jorgamo is let loose and unleashed, and leaves it down to Coconut in a 1v2, all for the map, all here and now. Tonight, that last chance, and all 13-3 is how Icebox.
Now that we're focused on the attack side, my eyes are on XLG. Can their double initiators combo together to set Raga up for success? This comp is not a million miles away from what they were previously running and having so much success with.
Jordan already going exploring up through mid here with a flash and a haunt up towards the top and wrapping around to the side. It's a lot of damage, no slight kill, but Valin might get that exit or not. Happy Way trying to catch him. Paranoia just barely there towards his back and peeking out through the smoke. Trent will be punished.
It's a beautiful idea from G2, and yet no kills whatsoever.
Spike planted.
All going the way of XLG. They now have C control, Garage Lurk, 5v2. Couldn't get a better beginning.
All offside as well. No smokes alive. Valin has been dropped. One way propped up on top of it. It's inevitable at this point. XLG going to be able to get that strong start they were hoping for. Raga from behind. Just trying to tap away there, ghost in hand. Jorgamo puts him down, but his team has got it all handled.
So really nice idea, the flash and the haunt. Caught onto 4 or 5 players there in grass. But despite doing damage, they couldn't actually finish off a kill.
One enemy
And XLG
remaining.
turned the fight on them.
Let's go!
XLG previously were running the Tejo Breach version of this composition. Very similar. I don't think moving away to Sova Breach hurts you too much at all. Changes things slightly, but should still put Raga in a good opportunity to get some big entries. Which, honestly, every comp they've played so far has not really done that. Empowered their star player.
Big group pump. Discipline going to be required here when you're clearing out towards a lobby. XLG making moves towards it, but they're just contacting the barrel. Might just be sticking out towards the side and expected here by Raga.
Best start that he's had in a map so far. 4-1.
Beginning. Heads just poking. Up over towards the top of that ledge. Happy Way happy to pop them and leave last one left standing. Not for much longer. 2-0 beginning here for XLG. This is what they needed to get the blood pumping ever so slightly.
And to get some belief too.
Yeah.
I think they were playing with massively lacking confidence on Icebox. It does make some level of sense. They're a team that's had to undergo
Enemy
a
remaining.
roster change coming into Masters Toronto, which has hurt them. And then they've been rattled in their opening game. They got to pick Sentinels and got kind of destroyed. 13-6, 13-6. This is the first time it really feels like they've got their feet underneath them. Smoke over towards Bricks, pushes Trent back, taking a bit of short and long control. No immediate reaction from G2, and XLG back it up. They are a team that's good at playing the macro usually.
Taking a bit of A-long control. Giving it up now. Coconut going to be rejoining the rest of his team. Leaf. Flash and a drone up and over. That's the Dawn's dead, a bit of spam for the wall. Yeah, it's not going to be saving you from much here. Raga, it's off to an absolute heater. Beginning here of Haven.
Jorg's thinking about how to get past this trip over towards the C side of the map because he's pushed up and got good information. It's allowing them to stack 3 players over here towards A.
Players up. G2 might be able to put a stop to this. Paranoia's already going to be sweeping past. Vulnerability. All going to be used here with a snake bite. Aftershock into the corner, clears out Trent. Puts a bit of fear into XLG as well. Now they're going to start scurrying into a different direction, right into Jorgamo perhaps, but no, right. B seems to be the goal.
Right into where the wall was, but they've gotten a bit lucky. The Leaf's already gone.
They're sidestepping straight back into this one. Valin takes out Raga. Coconut got to try and hold this one down on through the bottom of mid, but here comes the re-exploration of G2.
Weapon here.
Through Link now, 3 players stacked up, grouped up. Ready to explode. They spotted it, just trying to see if they can get any sort of easy access to these fights. Open sight lines. XLG not willing to get them too easily. Still, too much to overcome. And heads are rolling. G2, how do they do it?
Slightly better weaponry. Slightly poor crosshair placement from Happy Way in his position at the back of the B site. No util for either team. And G2's coordination makes the difference. That could have been an opportunity for XLG to win a really big bonus. They got themselves in a nice spot. Opening pick, an avenue into B.
One enemy remaining.
I don't think they had full knowledge that all of those players were coming through the A connector. Raga did go down to 2 of them on A though, so I think they should have been setting up some level of crossfire there. It looked like they were just worried about other avenues. Now though, we could see a set play round. XLG usually good with these. Once they have ults off the rip, Raga pops the dimensional drift.
This one flying forwards, but the Thorns were dead nice and early. It's a shock dart sent flying in.
I'm back.
Gains himself backside control though, out towards into Gong, has a flash up and under. This is G2 playing this one fast with the flood defense. They want to try and take this one by storm! And they're overwhelming.
Spike down, B.
Stinger in the hand of Jorgamo obtains the upgrade in the air, and Viva's the last one left. Can't stand against it. The might of G2, when they turn up the tempo, no stopping them.
But it's rare that we see them play for fast flood defending like that. Usually a little bit of a slower team, a little bit more happy to let you get the site and wait for a plant to go down. Here they pop through almost instantly.
One enemy remaining.
They had that read really early that the ult was going into B,
Spike down.
and there were players ready to pop flash through that instantly. The C's as well, grabbing big value from Trent. And XLG, while they looked like they were in a position to go up 3-0, now the score's even and their economy's shattered.
Deep smoke. Placed down here by XLG, looking to hopefully get a few more. Happy way. It's called Trent. Stepping straight back up, and hello!
I know exactly.
2 players toppled. XLG kick the doors down over towards A, and they're going to cause G2 to scurry their way around. It's only Jonah P who's going to be home.
It's unbelievable value from Happy Way. They're picking up these guns. Jonah's got to try to stop them going for something quick.
Yeah, their only chance is Jonah P stalling this one out. Tucks himself into the short position, looking to try and get embedded. The damage on the Happy Way Prior is enough to try and stop him. TP in forwards, but again, no one's covering. No one's watching it. Doubled up though, round towards it. You got to try and do the most now. The XLG rifles dead, but lined up for Lee.
If you can't do something right,
A small
don't
mistake
do
at the
it
very end from XLG. One of the players not going wide enough on the swing, and Leaf, he gets so much damage done, skewers them. A headshot from the Guardian. And XLG almost managed to make a pretty impossible round happen there off the back of Happy Way.
One enemy remaining.
I
Last player standing.
think credit there, so much of it needs to go to Jonah P though as well. Because with that old pop, with the snake bite, with his kill in short, he bought enormous amounts of time for Valorant and Leaf to come through into A. If you're not in prime form with your communication, and you have to play slowly anyway because things need to be translated on the fly, you might as well play a really structured, slow game.
Take flight.
First line of defense is going to be dealt with. No more Thorns in through Garage to slow this one down.
They are potentially facing into the operator though. Jorgamo's picked this one off. He's got it facing towards C right now, but could easily swing towards Garage.
The one gate crash available in through spawn. That's his get out of jail card, in case he is overwhelmed.
Leaf also just used his Vice Flash to re-clear towards Garage. They dropped the Viper wall, flashed in, and they know that there's nobody been inserted there.
Trent's doing a lot here. He's breaking a dart. A lot of presence here is going to be flashed up. And it has pulled players successfully over towards A, so working the map a bit slower from XLG.
Where are you?
And they found that avenue. Like you said, Jorgamo's now no longer on C with the operator.
Oh, they're still going to commit to A.
They've got all options open.
What is the call that they're making? They had players ready to go into a potential C split. They're going to go over towards A anyway. It's being reinforced. There's players here waiting off to the side, including Trent, tucked into the corner.
30
Inside the
seconds
Viper
left.
Orb, and Raka's dealt with TP into the back. Nothing else to really supplement the rest of that one after shock. And there it is. Trent's pushed out into the open, but with that operator in the hands of Jorgamo, short is on lockdown. Flash, dodge, up and over towards the top. It's supplementary util, and it's a scramble, a mad dash from XLG.
G2 with this new composition and a ton of ideas of how they want to play it on the A site. We already saw Jonah in one of the previous rounds lock it down. This time, you got Jorg sending a cute little flash up and over the top, and then picks up Mini.
Enemy remaining.
You see Trent hiding inside the Viper Orb, but A-Long, a really aggressive position from him. But he's also playing anti-flash and can turn around to deal with that gate crash from Raga on the entry. Cute ideas. The G2 get 4 in a row. Knocking XLG's economy down once again. And Happy Way, if he tries to take space.
Oh, straight to the dome. Call it overkill. An immediate reposition as well. Jorg's going to be in a different spot. Nothing's going right now for XLG.
Oh, I mean...
What?
That one's supposed to be... You gotta get a replay of that. That's supposed to be headed towards backside, and Raga just walked in front of it.
And at this point, if Morale is not in the bin already,
Nothing's perfect.
I don't know where it is.
That was perfection.
That's a brutal one.
I know that they're having comms issues, but...
What in the hell is happening there?
Get Sean on speed dial. I mean, show us this. What's going on here? On the clone.
No, that's a brutal one. We've been there. We've all been there.
Sova utility does interact with your own team's clones.
We learned that the other day.
Yeah, you can shoot a recon on top of its head if you want, but I mean, you can also shoot a shock dart and do crazy damage to your own squad.
A brutal one, and it's fast going from XLG. Euroult, or Omenol, I should say.
They were thinking about it.
TP up towards heaven is going to be broken. Raga forwards here to breach ult. Try and lay way towards the sides. Trent's already there. Perfect with the util. Haunt just paints out Raga's outline. Jorgmo even going to be using his own dimensional drift out. Spots it out. Plenty of players left waiting around to the side. Re-exploration, re-clearing. Cord 4, TP. Flash waiting. Prime going to let loose here. And G2 are pouncing on the opportunity to draw out even more blood. XLG not able to take a breath in these moments, but they may have an opportunity to go a bit further. There's a game of timings happening here. Happy Way drifted in through mid.
But I think that the round should just be dead. I mean, the spike is surrounded by G2 players.
There's no retrieving it, is there? On the side here is Leaf waiting. And now, just Happy Way. He's earned himself that decent spot to play in, but like you mentioned,
yeah, I mean, what
can
you
do?
What can you do in this spot? It's not like you're going to be going for the pathing to get the spike, is it? I mean, how would you even begin to pull that off? Beautiful ideas, though, again, from G2. They're so aware of the breach ult that is out here for XLG. They break the Omen ultimate, or at least cause enough pressure for it to get cancelled. And then Trent is on site, baiting out the breach ultimate, and then throws a haunt that is perfect, catches instantly onto Raga's TP. Trent has been a nightmare for Raga to deal with. On one of the A exec, Trent was hiding inside the Viper Orb. On another one of them, he's throwing a haunt and killing him through a smoke. And then they're instantly back through. That's just as Raga goes through his teleport. There's no chance for him to break that.
One enemy remaining.
And of course, the flash re-clear with the teleport out through A-Long. Beautiful ideas. And it's all working.
That goes there.
XLG look to show G2 a bit of their own medicine here. Stingers on 3 of the players. And as overall, in case things get a little bit tricky, XLG will be trying to win this one.
Shock's not going to do much there for the Vice Wall. Obviously intended for the Thorns that have been placed prior. TP into the back, and you just can't get out of dodge. Still, it's there, available, ready, and waiting. Jonah P wants to try and flood his way in, and the vulnerable is across the board. XLG, though, the ones dominating. Oh, as I say that, Leaf is going to take out 2 of them. Leaves it into a 1v2 spot for Trent. We've seen this guy in the clutch. We know what he's capable of.
Spike.
Coconut's going to be able to put down a one-way for the spike. They can play over towards long, but it will offer potentially opportunities for Trent to pick them off if his aim can be good enough. Vandal, powerful at long range. And I think he should start to get the read that they're playing off-site here down C-Long.
Yeah, reveals his position. Now time to send some util flying forwards here. Sees, deaded. That's going to be cutting up the close angle here. Slight tap, trying to force these players out wide into the open. It's Happy Way who takes the peak. Time ticking though onto this spike, and the spot Just unwinnable now. Happy Way doesn't land that shot though. Still, there might be an opportunity. There might be a chance. But a difficult shot to hit. All the way through still.
XLG chose to play the time there, choosing to go for 2 1v1s instead of double swinging. The clock had been starting to tick a little bit. But I think, listen, dial back, big picture. It's a good round from XLG. They came into this one with mostly a light buy, 3 stingers, bit of a thrifty. And they've come away with the victory. 6-3 though, they're going to need more of that. Because this actually looks like the most kind of get up and go that they've had all tournament, I would argue. But still, they've only been able to put 3 together.
Haunt up and over the top with a bit of spam from Jonah P. He's doing some work, he's doing some damage. The bullets landed onto Happy Way. He's dropped down to just barely anything.
XLG have got a really nice read right now that this wall is up on front B.
Jonah P, you're hard stuck onto this angle right now. Raga's got you watched. Flash dodged, and there's the peek, and there's the get out. Raga.
It's a good punish. He's got great information just from the sound. Bit bold. I'm not exactly sure what Jonah was going for there with the hop up. Trent takes a shot as Happy Way feeds into this B-lurk position. XLG, they're playing slowly. And a kill happened there on both ends. Raga also punished Trent for an info peek.
Raga hasn't cleared that. I think he's missed it on top of the box. And he's just out into the open. Jorgamo there with a trade. Raga might have just done enough though. Still that TV forwards. Midi. He's got to be sharp with it. Rifle in hand, finally putting a stop to it. Jorgamo's running rampant ever so slightly here. Midi and Viva being left to do it now. Jump spot out into the open. Stray shots and damage and spam in all. Oh my, no coverage in sight! Not like this! Not like this!
A jumping right click! Magnetized onto the head of Midi! Leaf knew exactly that he had that opportunity to try to force the play. Knew that the player short was going to be trying to defend. He plays it beautifully, but also Lady Luck very firmly on his side.
How's he getting away with that?
It's not like Midi was 1 HP either.
No.
But he leaps out of heaven for a Red Bull clutch in a round where Raga, I think, had done what should have been enough.
1 enemy remaining.
Look at this again.
Joking.
Absurd.
You're joking.
Oh my God. They didn't need that.
No.
I mean, if we're being honest, I don't think they need that. But it's 7-3 and XLG down to Sheriffs again.
Can't catch a break. Clone's going to be broken nice and early though. This one causing a few problems. Shock dart. Close. A lot of util is going to be primed in the hands of these players. XLG looking to potentially go now. There it is. Fault line forwards and the C's to meet them. Locking them down. XLG can step no further. At least for now, Raga re-exploring. Risks to be taken with just the Sheriff in hand.
XLG did win that thrifty before.
There's a head. Clean off the shoulders. Valent's going to be done. No more.
It does feel like Raga's starting to get a feel of the game.
Heating up.
He's playing very much on his own, though. It's not like he's using that initiator util. Mostly just setting himself up for kills.
Way. And he was dragging most of the G2 players away, but a flash got a connection. Contact over towards A, and it's caused them scurrying back and over, but XLG are playing the long con. Going back over towards Raga, why not? But he earned himself the entirety of the C site.
It's a very dangerous rotate from Viva going through mid there, exposing himself to B and Garage. But they make it through. No casualties.
30 seconds left.
Should be a plant.
Lost shots fired off. Jordan looking for a lucky connection in all. Raga, he's forward again. And this guy is it double the ball. Raga!
Send 5 more. We can do this again.
Right when they needed him most.
That's what you're hoping for from XLG's superstar.
Double dead.
Face your fear!
Knew that he had to make the play. The only player with a rifle. Utterly solo as well.
Sir.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we were talking so much about having watched the guy in China, how brilliantly he's usually set up by initiator utility and by the team's game plans. He does occasionally have solo plays here and there, but this round was just all on his own. Deadlifting XLG.
Beautiful. Barely a hand poking out. Trent. He's going to need a bandage for that one. Dropped down to 33 health.
But you can't do that consistently. And he won't even get a chance in this round. Runs into Giacomo, takes an op bullet to the chest. And now the rest of XLG have to try to put a game plan together without their star player, without the dimensional drift. And it's the last one in the half.
Cover going out.
We're looking to spot out these players now. Dimensional drift sees the two of them.
That's great info.
I'm back.
You know that the Cypher's lurking somewhere. You know that all three of the other players are over towards A. And Jorg, he's already anticipating that they're going to be making a bit of a pivot. Happyway's caught the timing past the flash.
Yeah, he has. No acknowledgement on that one.
Very fast timing.
About as good as the timing as he could possibly hope for. And it's still being jiggled, but yeah, Leaf unanticipating it.
Cage triggered.
Leaf even went for a reaction Thorns pop there at 40 seconds. Jorg's on an island.
And Happyway
30
making sure that he
seconds
can
left.
really take advantage of the fact here. Over towards C, this is Valorant, he full sticks it. He full sticks it, he's all the way in through, into the back, and still cleaned up. In the end, XLG now, they do have finally open access to that C site.
This
What a good work being put in.
This would be an incredible round for XLG to get a 7-5 half, more than they could have dreamed of early.
Happyway. He's got the operator in his hands here. He misses the first shot though, and a bit of spam. Trying to run this guy down all the way. The ults though have been earned up midi. Stands them all. Sends them packing. 7-5. A good finish here for XLG. Finally, a bit of fire in the belly from some of these players.
And a poetic way to end as well. Round 11, a complete solo play from
One
Raga
enemy
to
remaining.
ace and carry his team across the finish
body
line.
bags.
And then in the final round, Raga goes down early and the rest of the team get it done without him. Both halves of XLG working well. In here on Haven in order to prolong their stay in Toronto. And G2, they're going to be looking to get back into that dominant form they were on Icebox, where they tore through the Chinese squad.
Both of these teams be bitterly disappointed of an early exit here.
And that's an early exit for Raga in the round. Tried to take a fight, hoping his hand was still hot.
Slow down called for here by G2. Injecting a bit of a pause, I suppose, into the play and re-exploration in through mid. XLG have got a lot of space off the back of this, a lot of information is going to be gathered.
That flash tells them that there's somebody either peeking garage or on the flank.
TP into the corner. Uh-oh. Snake bite round towards the back. Flash into your face on top of it. Giacomo trying to take that fight, and he was set up relatively well. G2 though, can they follow up on the most of it? Get the trade onto midi, but this anchor smoke is brutal to get through, and Viva just trying to weave in and out between it. Valin drops one,
Spike
dropped
down
himself,
A.
traded in a moment's notice. Up towards the top though, no more smokes. Up towards heaven, and Happyway just poking his head out. Spike has been dropped out into the open.
Yeah, and that's a little bit tough because they know there's a player over towards heaven. Happyway with a ghost and very little health. How do you block
30
this off?
seconds left.
Just has to be the double hold as they reclaim it, retrieve it. Scurrying back now to safety, getting that plant down.
Yeah, and I think Happyway missed his timing
Spike
to
planted.
have influence in this round.
Could have potentially done it, but now G2 are going to be tucked in safe positions, trying to play a bit more
Last
discipline, and
player
there it is. As soon as you catch the contact, Leaf is supposed to be the pivotal point. Jonah P, the one to capitalize.
And let's rewind to the very beginning of this pistol. You see here, a stun getting thrown out. In theory, you've got that breach sober composition that should be a little bit better at locking off A lobby and setting Raga up for the early fights. But G2 are through. I mean, they got fast into that area, wall up, wall down, and they're in. G2 should be playing slower mid-rounds with the Viper in their composition, the
give them
double
any
smokes
chances.
comps, set up people like Leaf or Jonah to go for lurks. But XLG are going to be wanting to force fights like this one.
Jorg's going to be dropped down, single digits.
Charges.
Stave off most of the aggression, though, that XLG were going for on their eco.
It's a Bucky and a Marshall being brought into this one. So there's danger in long-range angles and somewhere close, although Happyway's actually playing the Bucky.
I've never seen this.
Over towards A long.
Yeah.
Really bizarre. But it's also not an area that G2 are currently exploring.
All eyes towards C. Gonna be onto Viva and Coconut to see if they can clear the way. Viva, a bit of supplementary there with a spam. He needed to defend the slightest of corners, and Leaf is catching a timing. You can hear it, the footsteps. Raga was anticipating it, and there's a Bucky coming into work.
Upgrades, potentially. Downgrades, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. Do you want a stinger? No, I'd rather have the Marshall, apparently. Happy way. We'll have to get a run on, though. Try and put a stop to this here. Auto towards a... Oh, my God, man!
That looked sharp, but he was also facing the haunt. So it would have been lit up like a Christmas tree on Trent's screen. 3 players trying to come back in here. They've got a Bucky or a Stinger to work with. It's going to be tough.
See what he can do. Util readily available here with a fault line at least. Alongside the dart. Paranoia, hold on. Trenches down into the open! You gotta try and land those shots though, and he still gets the 1. We're eventually going down. Discipline being played. G2 just waiting for the game to come to them. And
this is everything I wanted.
they know that game well.
There's been damage done there. I mean, if XLG can put together a decent buy, which they should be able to, because they only forced Marshall and Bucky. They've actually chunked away at G2's economy a little bit. But this is now going to be a must-win round for them. G2 are coming in with double stingers.
Play clutch, play clutch, it's fine.
I mean, to be clear, they can't hear Josh in that moment, but hard when you're a coach not to vocalize what you're thinking. Here's that stun like I'm talking about. XLG's comp is better for A-lobby control.
Raga did take out Valen, but he is traded.
Yeah, so best case he's managed is going 1 for 1, and I'm not sure that that's enough in a round like this. G2 slow things down. XLG take the response into mid. This flash, Vice Flash, up on their screens, always available to get the info.
3 players. I can wait now. Plenty of bullets left waiting, and more where that came from. Jonah P. He knows where that final player could be lurking around towards the side, and Midi does a decent job of it still into the 1v1. It's Leaf versus Viva.
And it's a must-win here for Viva.
Thorns activated.
It's G2's bonus. They can still afford to buy into the next. Viva can't.
Spike planted. Blast placed.
Ritual setup. Plant is down, and the game of timings is just missed by Leaf, but still, it's going to be wrapping this one all the way around to the side, and a bit of patience now played as well.
Viva's had a nightmare of a map so far. He's 2 and 10. This would be everything for the guy.
Flash hasn't seen much. He's got to reveal his hand. Deep dart down, and it clears one of the angles for him. Doesn't know where to expect Leaf, though. Creeping around, crawling around this guy. It's all over the place. Practically in the walls.
And it's a gorgeous plant position from Leaf. Makes it feel like he's playing towards Cubby or Long. But actually, when he wraps around there, there's no area where Viva can be on the spike and it's not just completely in the open.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Jonah does a great job picking off both players here. But I thought that the double initiators might be able to pull through for XLG. I think that round, though, was everything for the Chinese squad.
Nice, Nate. Good shit, bro.
That's a bonus conversion here for G2. 10-5 now. Not letting their foot off the gas.
Time to jump.
XLG were given an in with the rounds that they accrued up on that prior half, but G2
Here.
putting a stop to it here and now. They're going to get cheeky there, hopping around to the side. Hold on, happy way with the Sheriff. Shots are flying and rattling down that sight line. 3 versus 3. What it's come down to now here, playing a bit off site still. Coconut is up. They're going to have smokes to play this one. You can't be entirely off the side, and G2 I think have just realized it. Now starting to play up a little bit more. Late lurk now from Leaf. It's going to be that backup policy, but with a bit of pace, might not get a chance to do it here. Shots already fired. Valen has been caught from behind. The TP down towards Long. You are completely out of the picture. Jorgamo is forwards, and guns need to be at the ready. It's Viva again versus Leaf once more. Can he do it? Tapping out, searching, hunting!
It's deja vu for Viva again. Leaf hops up to Logs and delivers another bullet to the side of the head. Tragedy for XLG. That's a round that G2 misplayed a little bit to get into a tricky situation. They weren't quite ready for what was going on with the trip. I mean, Jorg just beefed his movement a little bit. And then things cascaded from there.
One enemy remaining.
To be honest, Jorg redeemed himself with 3 in the round. He really made up for it. But a couple of teammates got killed, and Josh is chuckling about that. So similar to previous.
And the pressure is just off them at this point. You could maybe make an argument, I think, at the beginning of this series that G2 are the ones that are feeling like they have to win.
That's where the pressure increases, but they've just got away to such good starts here.
Behind me.
And you can just see it on their faces and all the replays and all the cams. G2 are all smiles. XLG can feel it, slowly losing their chance. But staying alive here in a global event. Flash and a peek alongside that horn. Viva!
That's big.
Okay.
That's redemption for Viva.
Answers back. 2, make it 3, make it 4! God! A bit of fire, bit of fury, inserted into it. Raw spam maybe to get the job done towards the end. He's one away from the ace. And it would do wonders for the confidence. Leavers dodging, juking, desperate to stay alive. The movement of Jan denies him his chance in the sun.
But no, hold on.
Now hold on.
Pump the brakes. There's a minute still left here. I've seen Leaf work magic before, and his wall gets dripped over towards C.
There's a 1v2 though, and he's walking knife out. Doesn't realize the happy way is already there.
Okay. And the adrenaline can start seeping away for XLG. Those are good kills for Viva to get. He was hanging out at the bottom of the scoreboard for such a long time. I think he only had 1 kill in the first half.
Got to get the confidence back somehow.
And he's also lost 2 vitally important 1v1s against Leaf.
Yeah.
Go away.
So to be able to just step up and rip through 4 of the players, getting his team back into things, that's a big one. That's important.
Still a bit quiet from XLG's side of things. Mood obviously dampened, I think, by that scoreline, but 1 round at a time is how it has to be.
Double stinger, Valen and Leaf. They're both incredible with them. But in theory, it's a weaker economy. And they're only heading to the site where Viva is completely alone.
He is walking all the way down mid. He's exploring. Jordan with a dimensional drift clears all of the A site out. Spots it. Multiple players there. Raga taking a peek. Let's claim Jonah P.
And this allows them now to use the Vice ultimate for post-plant.
Midi to tap. It's forced out the ult early here. Players going to be colliding, clashing. Jorgamo tries to step forward. He's going to try and stem that bleeding, shore it up, at least momentarily here, round to the side. And the ult's going to be extended. Oh my goodness, he's just swapping around the weaponry. Valen just walking. Happy way from on high. Operator in hand after shot, pushing him out wide. And it's just left down to Trent in that 1v2 scenario. And Happy way, sight set on the appropriate position.
3 kills, I think, with the op in that round in 2 different players' hands. Raga got the opener onto Jonah P, playing pretty aggro on site. But this round was all about the ults. XLG were anticipating that G2 were going to lead with something. Let's say Vice ultimate, maybe the dimensional drift. So they ended up playing pretty soft on A, tried to come back in with a breach ultimate, got stopped.
No one
And
to
then
interrogate.
skirmishes. Opportunities for them to peek a player in here and there, and Happy Way from Heaven getting massive value with the op. Now G2's economy is properly dead in the water. Still, the same 2 players with stingers in hand. But everyone else now, instead of rifles, down to sheriffs. This defensive setup is now working. Partly because they've had the op, and partly because XLG feel like they're playing with a little bit more aggression, perhaps?
Time to jump.
An ability to take it to G2.
Pressure relieved.
There's 1 trip broken at the front of B, but Happy Way still has a 2nd trip in a deeper position, so he's not as worried about just getting walked on. Garage, though, is currently pretty dangerous. They have this camera that gives them information into Garage, but it got smoked off.
It's cleared through. Jorgamo inserts his presence there now over towards B in the Garage.
And they don't have a re-clear protocol for this. I mean, if they had the breach on this side of the map, I'm sure they would. But for now, with their current defensive setup, you've just got to stay here.
1 big glaring question mark. Happy Way's going to be watching onto most of this here, but it does drag bodies away from it. G2, you got 30 seconds left. Got to start to decide where you want to go at some
30
point.
seconds left.
Potentially a B pop, but Jordan will be in a backstab. Looks like that is where they're going to be trying to go for here, but Midi has plenty of utility to dissuade this. Trip. Ball's going to be triggered round from the side here. Sheriff not doing enough. Happy Way. Nearsighted matters not. Viva offloading it, buying time now for the Flood to try and get in. There's 7 seconds left. G2 trying to get that plan down here. Running and gunning and Coconut. Just laying claim down now onto the side leaf. There's the last one left. got into his hands. Defuse is sticking. Shorty's round the corner. And if that's what it takes.
The game plan was so nice as well from G2. They put so much effort into inserting Jorgamo into that top garage position, and then threw a paranoia to try to flush the player into his sightlines. And look at Happyway here. He's blinded up, knows he's being shot multiple times, and just spams towards garage. Finds his kill. And the rest of XLG flood on in and are somehow able to overpower the Viper's pit too.
11-8.
The economy's not in an amazing spot.
Of a map of a series.
Now, one of the things I was thinking we might see is a trip over here towards short, for example, which just kind of stops the Viper lurk from happening that you would expect. And instead, it's been Happyway playing mostly towards C the entire time. He's got a trip for garage window, in fact, this time. So if you try to get into that deep position that Jorg played in previously,
hold on.
You're done.
AC, yeah, we're seeing it. It's going to be that nightfall scattered forwards, no connections. TP now into the back by Valorant. I know it's all clear.
Oh, fake as well into spawn, so they do have to respect that. There's an Omen smoke in the defender's spawn that they might have teleported into.
It's going to bleed time out of XLG where they have to try and at least defend this one. Still, he's ahead of it as that smoke just dissipates. Jorgamo, he's wide out into the open. Trying to flash his way in, but Valorant's still towards the back. This is going to be clearing up the question marks. Here for XLG.
Important trade.
They're going to be clearing up most of the map as well. Into, through, and the side. B side.
They have flash, they have recon.
There it is, recon up and over. Smoke. Dropped up, a bit of spam from G2. Is this what it's going to take? Is this how they're going to be claiming this round here? Stepping forwards and past it. The line of scrimmage that was layered down, and it's stray bullets follow the tracers. Time has run out. G2 are up to 12.
A very fast hit coming out of the timeout there. Straight out of the strat book. Good input from Josh RT. Just gets them one round, but an important one. Yeah. The important one, potentially. That could have been everything as well. Jorg losing his life a little too easily. But the players in the clutch are rock solid as always for G2.
Bro, the Thorn is so funny, just hearing like that crunch, crunch, crunch when he's running through.
It's good to see that even the simple things can delight the players after their thousands of hours of play.
This is G2 on the cusp of sending XLG home.
And Raga with it all to do. Bodies coming towards him, fast and unknown.
Very tight angle to behold. Just catching the clone. Takes that first contact, forces the TP back at him. So Raga evacuating. Through the back though, this is Happyway hard committed. He's decayed down. Thorns and a snake bite, it's all offloaded. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Foul concoction that G2 just brewed up, and now with a player advantage, site control is theirs. We're looking at Raga to see if he can be the difference maker. Peeks out wide, don't follow up at all. It's the Vice Sword offloaded now. Thorns scattered wide. And with it, XLG's hopes. Jorgamo taking point, taking contact, and bodies are dropped. At a moment's notice, it's G2 who move on.